You are listening to WRFG Atlanta. WRFG provides a voice for those who have been traditionally denied open access to the broadcast media through the involvement of a broad base of community elements to guarantee that access. In the utilization of the facilities and its programs, the following communities will receive first priority: those who continue to be denied free and open access to the broadcast media, and those who suffer oppression or exploitation based upon class, race, sex, age, creed, disability, sexual orientation, or immigrant status.
To learn how you can support WRFG's mission, please go to wrfg.org.
WRFG Atlanta.
Good morning blues will brighten up your day as you put on your shoes. Yeah, yeah. You know it's got to be the way to wake up each and every day on WRFG in Atlanta. Good morning blues.
Good morning, blues.
Greetings and what is it called? Pinch Punch first of the month. Yes, used to do that at school all the time. Or my sister. It just depends on who was nearest to NAB. Yeah, July 1st. Wow. Bing. Summer will be gone before you know it, and you'll be going, what happened? I didn't even get to go to the pool. Well, you better go down there now then, hadn't you? Right? All kinds of goodies coming up today. Please stay tuned for what I think is an interesting view on TERRY REID, the English singer, from a different vantage point than you may have heard before that I'll be doing later in the show. Very cool new things from all kinds of directions. There's a Ronnie Wood album out in September I've got a couple of pieces on. And some interesting new people I didn't know about. So they sneak up on you sometimes. Oh, yes, a special little thing on Gary Moore in this program, and returning to a rare New Orleans label and some of their content. But let's start in Chicago. I am not a lover of Chicago blues. Bores the pants off me. But there's something about this guy and his style. I guess they call it West Side. There's something about that seems to appeal to me. So just to give you a little preface, I'm going to play you 2 or 3 pieces melted together. This guy was born in Duncan, Mississippi in 1939. He unfortunately died very recently, 2018, at the age of 78, but he was raised in Chicago, and he played with every seminal figure who defined that Chicago West Side sound that you're about to hear. Why is this coming up? Well, this album from 1984, for reasons unknown, has been reissued, remastered, cleaned up, etc., because he showed up in London in the mid-'80s in a bit of a flurry. Apparently he was being chased by some unscrupulous gentlemen who were looking for him. We never did find out why, but he hung around for a little while. He didn't want anyone to manage him. He didn't want any specific ties. He wanted to play loose, made an album, toured around England, toured around Europe, and disappeared again. I think by that time, for whatever reason, people had stopped looking for him. So here he is.
What you done to me, baby, made me love you day and night. What you done to me, baby, made me love you day and night. You got me walking and talking, baby, you know that ain't right. I'm so in love, baby, I'll give you most anything. So in love, baby, I'll give you most anything. Why you the sweetest little thing, you know everything's okay. everything to you. All my whole life, baby, I'll give everything to you. I want nothing in return but only be loved by you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 baby. All my whole life, baby, I love everything. Early in the morning, dead right, had a little fight, my baby last night. Early in the morning, through the wall, when you touch me, no I can't talk. Can't stand your love, can't stand your love, can't stand your love, can't stand your love, can't stand your love. One more time. Early in the morning, can't hit right, had a little fight, my baby last night. Early in the morning, through the wall, when you touch me, no I can't talk. Can't stand your love, can't stand your love, can't stand your love, can't stand your love.
Early in the morning, lay it right, had a little fight, my baby last night. Early in the morning, through the wall, when you text me, no I can't talk. Please stand your love, please stand your love, please stand your love, please stand your love, please stand your love.
Campbell, 1984, resurrected album on a Japanese label, but recorded in England. So we had Look at What You Done, My Girl, which was the instrumental part, and Early in the Morning. And just an interesting sound, well presented, and nice to see that back out there again. King of the West Side Chicago blues scene, or sound, I should say. Let's swing to a band that you know. You just don't know these cuts. They're live and they're with some friends, but they're big names. You'll figure it out.
And now another message from our Public Affairs Bulletin Board.
On July 24 and 25, the Arts Exchange, along with their community partners, will host Reimagine Democracy, an art and justice festival. The lineup includes an artist market, the exhibit Whose America Is It Anyway?, the jazz sounds of the Ojeda Penn Experience, reggae and gospel concerts, performances, classes, social justice trainings, and workshops on voter engagement. The Arts Exchange is at 2148 Noonan Street in East Point, within walking distance of the Fort McPherson MARTA station. For more information, our website is artsexchange.org.
I met you, like a blown away, and a brand new song to sing. I can't keep singing about you. Why does love got to be so sad? 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 There's so much we search to find. All along the memories gone away, knowing there's so much more to say. These wheels been turning and turning, round and round I go. Dear, my dear, it's your melody. So sorry it took so long. I was lost in the wilderness, and that's where I heard our song. All the times I made you cry, and the dreams we left behind. Let's make the future ours to hold, and I'll be there as we grow old. Till then I'm spinning, round and round I go. Dear, my dear, it's your melody. So sorry it took so long. I was lost in the
Couple of pizza slices there from our friends the Tedeschi Trucks Band, featuring Trey Anastasio with Why Does Love Gotta Be So Sad? And Here My Dear, just melted in together. Live stuff out there in the jungle of music floating around that you might not have heard. Probably not album stuff. It's just loose live things they put out. We're going to do something rather special now from an album from one of my heroes in the bands he's been in, and this album isn't out till September, and it features some excellent musicians, the likes of Mr. Mick Taylor from the Rolling Stones would certainly be one of them. Special guests, Bobby Womack, Mick Hucknall and Paul Weller. Yes, and it's a tribute to Jimmy Reed, so that puts it strongly in the blues category. Stay tuned.
Yeah, my baby was mentioning diamond ring, big fine color and everything. But I'm a natural born lover. I'm a natural born lover. Tell me, baby, which one of these are you, brother? Baby, on the luxuries mean a thing. You should get yourself a real good man. You're my natural born lover. I'm a natural born lover, baby. Yeah, tell me, baby, which one of these would you rather? please, would you rather? Got me running, got me hiding, got me running away one little road. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got me doing what you want me, baby, while you wanna let go. Going up, going down, going up, down, down, up, any way you wanna let it roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, while you wanna let go. You got me deep, got me hiding. You got me deep, hide, deep away. You wanna let it roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, what you wanna let go. Got me running, got me hiding, got me running anyway you wanna let it roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hi, this is Dana Gillespie from London, England, to tell you about the second best way to wake up. Just tune in to UK Bob and his Good Morning Blues show and feel good for 4 hours on WRFG Atlanta.
You lucky people. That album's not out till September, but it's June, really, when I had this. It's July 1st today, and you had a couple of sneak pieces there from Mr. Ronnie Wood. Yes, indeed. I'm a fan of his from the Small Faces and the Faces, and yes, the Stones, but more the other two because I'm a mod. Anyway, that is his part of his live trilogy albums, the second one of the set that he's going to do. That's called Mr. Luck, a tribute to Jimmy Reed, live at the Royal Albert Hall, coming out on the 3rd of September this year. It was actually performed in November 2013, which would explain why you had certain people in there. Mick Hucknall's still around, Paul Weller's still around, they were guests. Bobby Womack has since passed. But anyway, yes, it's straightforward, but it's live at the Royal Albert Hall, and I can't tell you, if you've never been, what a big deal that is. So we got an odd connection here. I'm going to divert your attention for a minute from one Womack to another. And this is an Austin lady I just discovered and didn't really know much about her. But this is a song that just struck me. It just, like things do, and we all have different things that catch us a different way. But I'm hoping that you'll think the same thing and find it worthy of me slotting it in before we get too involved in Terry Reid. I wanted you to It's like an appetizer, something to cleanse the palate. Pity the Fool, she says, is about all the little moments in life that you don't realize have such richness behind them. And I am totally with that. And when you think about the fact she's about 20 years old now and had recently ended a long-term relationship, when I say long-term, started at 14. Now, some of us, old farts, 6 years isn't a long time, right? But for her, it's 1/3 of her life, you know? Don't forget the thing that I always wind you up with. Get a good mattress. You're going to spend 1/3 of your life sleeping on it. So the same thing applies, okay? Anyway, I'm going to play you this song and tell you a little more.
A message in a bottle that never reached the shore. A woman in a red dress walking out the door. A lover with a broken heart. A motor that just wouldn't start. So many different stories, and what are they all for? Was a summer but tainted by the rain, shrouded in your mystery, painted by my pain. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Release all of the memories you wish you could forget about. One day you'll say his name.
a voice there of Miss Grace Womack, and that was the connection with Bobby Womack in the previous series. From a 6-track release not coming out till mid-August called Yellow Cowboy Hat. That song you can have. It's out now. I'm guessing it's a single. You can go find it and play with it. I am not allowed to do any more than that. I have been severely slapped and I've had lots of chocolate thrown at me not to do any more. But trust me, it's worth it. She's kind of cool. She's only 20. If you remember the story as to how the song came about, if you don't, hit rewind, okay? Can't spend my life repeating myself if you're not paying attention. So she's still in school. She's at University of Texas, based in Austin. From Houston, born in Houston, but lives in Austin because she got wise as to what the best part of Texas is. All right. Let's go talk to Terry Reid. I want to tell you a Terry Reid story from a different angle. You can look up all the details. There's enough information out there in lots of places, and many of you may know who Terry Reid is and what he's done and is doing and all the staggering history. I want to tell you about a different side of things, but I do need to plug in a couple of highlights for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about. This is the guy that turned down lead singer for Led Zeppelin and actually suggested to Jimmy Page, I got this bloke called Robert Plant up in Birmingham, you might want to try him. They wanted Terry Reid, he's a better singer. Same thing happened with Deep Purple, and he found Ian Gillan for him. So this was all 1969, and people said, what? You turned this down? This is the same thing I have such a hard time explaining to people about with Alvin Lee. After 10 years after, going to Spain, and wanting to do his own thing his way, as opposed to being part of a big mega band, right? Traveling the world, blah, blah, blah. Alvin was offered millions to come back to America and do something like that. And he's, nah, no thanks. I've got things that I want to do. Terry Reid's the same way. So he's carried on making his music his way. And his solo albums are treasures, if you like that. Did he make millions of dollars? No. Did he want to? No. Is he happy with what he did? Absolutely. Aretha Franklin said in 1969, there are only 3 things happening in England: the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and Terry Reid. Look it up, she did. Terry played at the Atlanta Pop Festival. Did anybody know that? Probably not. Anyway, you'd be surprised the number of well-known acts that have covered Terry Reid's songs. His songs himself weren't hits. He had hit albums, like I said, which are treasures for those that follow him. What I'm going to share with you today is just a little different. And I tripped over it by accident earlier this year and decided to share it. I've got Terry Reid covering other people's songs, which doesn't happen much. But the way he addresses it and he converts them, you think, oh yeah, okay, now this is worth doing. Now, I blame Emma Wilson for this, okay? She shared with me an EP a couple of weeks ago where, I just bumped into Terry Reid and we decided to record. I mean, you don't just do things like that. She's playing it down, all right? But it's a big deal. And I played it for you last week, I think. Rather good. She's doing a duet with him and it works. So anyway, the purpose is to, like I said, give you a different angle. So I'm just going to let it all flow together. But we will start with his very first recording from 1967, pop music, just his first ever. He's 72 this November. So there'll be some covers, his interpretations of songs, and him talking at NAMM this last 12 months. Interesting stories, which makes the conversation cool, to do with Hendrix and the Stones and Chuck Berry and just all kinds of stuff. So kick back and enjoy.
This time I can't hide it from my friends. second hand. When a friend brings to light on a cold silver night, you can stare your fate right into his hand. To his hand. Oh, we are what we are when we're named to be the soul owning guardians of land. And there's always advice on a cold winter's night that your dreams are just an island in the sands, way out in the sand. Some of us are out to win, and some of us are out just to aim. Just out to aim. Oh, we are what we are when we're praying. And long way up seeking some light. May the mission bell still ring of the colorful dream, in the faith that everyone will be treated right. Will be treated right on a cold, cold night. Will be treated right.
Nice to finally meet you
You're
in
very
person.
kind.
We have a mutual friend, Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah, yeah,
who,
yeah.
I think you met recently. You're
Well,
doing some work with too, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Joe's a real deal. I mean, I like people that do what they say, you know. So first, it started off, I sold him a guitar of mine that I'd had years, since I was 17 or something like that, you know. And a Fender Telecaster that was a 52 with a 49 neck, which is when in full, you know, they were scrambling when they got a deal for 2,000 guitars. They're going really quick.
Start making them.
And they put in necks and bodies like this, right? So in the back of the neck was written Eddie, which Joe freaked when he took the neck off and saw that, because Eddie was one of the main routers and craftsmen for necks. So this was all wonderful. So everybody was offering me silly money for the guitar. You know, it wasn't worth selling it. So I went, oh, I don't know. And I get a call. He said, my name's Joe Bonamassa. And I said, yeah, okay. That's cool. Yeah. He said, what do you really want cash? And I said, well, I want 20 grand. And he goes, whatever. And he goes, what are you doing tomorrow? And I went, well, I'm not doing anything. He said, well, I'll pop up and see you. And he goes, I said, well, that'd be nice. He popped up, right? Played the guitar, played some Chet Atkins stuff, which was very surprising, right? Blew me right. And I went, okay, run out to the car. And I thought, oh, you don't like it. came back with a suitcase of cash. So
Love
it was
Joe.
the beginning of a wonderful relationship.
Are you doing the cruise?
Yeah. So what happened is the next time he comes up to play a gig at Aqua Caliente Casino, he invited me to go and do a song with him. I said, well, look, I'd like to come and talk guitars again. It would be great. And he goes, well, why don't we do a song? I went, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea, too.
Right. So we do that. We're in a storm. No, everybody in the band. It was from the Allman Brothers or wherever, you know. And it became a whole event. So he says, we got to do this. We got to do it again. So now he's booked me to do the Mediterranean Blues Cruise, right, in August, which is Monte Carlo and, you know, all these terrible places.
It's rough.
It's a lovely time of the year to, that wind, that Mistral wind's not blowing off Africa, which will kill you, you know, really.
You're also, I mean, you played with everybody. You've been doing sessions and stuff. You doing some film stuff now?
Yeah,
too?
well, the film thing, I've done a little film stuff, acting things, nothing to really shout about, but I did some acting things with Bill Paxton, God bless him, who passed. He was a wonderful man, and he did a big golf movie. And he walks up to me at a gig one night and he says, I've got just the part for you in this movie of mine. I went, look, you've had a lovely career so far. Don't ruin it. No, you don't want to do it. And I was the golf caddy in a movie, right? You know, that was that. So recently, about 5 years ago or so, it was a movie called Devil's Rejects.
The Rob Zombie
right,
film.
The Rob Zombie did, right? And I get this call from a friend of mine, Joel High, who was at Lionsgate, and then said, I've given him your album and he loves it. He wanted one song and he's picked 3 for the movie. I went, ka-ching.
Yeah.
Now, he just put 2 songs more in the new one, 3 from Hell.
Yeah.
Right. And we got to hang out. He had a big party out, an after party for the movie. And I sat through there with, God, it's pretty bloody, that one, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get to a line in my song, and it's like, when a friend brings to light on a cold silver knife, you know, and then he cuts somebody's throat, and I go, oh, I don't know. You know, I never thought of that.
That wasn't what you were thinking when you
wasn't exactly.
wasn't the concept.
So when I do it live, it's sort of it's like a thing runs across your head a bit.
There's something burning up inside of me. For oh, I don't know how long, but I keep talking to myself saying something about to go so wrong. But she looks in my eyes and makes me realize it when she says, don't worry, baby, everything is gonna be alright. Don't worry, baby. Oh, she said, oh, I guess I should have kept my mouth shut when I get to talking about my car. But now I really went and blew it, 'cause I went and pushed the gas to fall. But she makes me come alive and makes me wanna drive out when she says, don't worry, baby. Come on, now. yeah.
I started working with the Stones. I felt like I went to Keith Richards' School of Hard Knocks, you know, that's what I call it. Right? I left school at 15 and went on tour with the Rolling Stones. Now, I know that sounds nuts. I mean, it's like, it's not what you would want. My mother's, oh no, it's what you do, you know. But that's what happened. Keith and Mick came down to a club, the Marquee Club in London, and saw us playing and got elected. You know, sometimes those things will happen, right? Which changed my whole life. You know?
What era Stones was
This was Brian Jones.
This is still Brian Jones era
Let's
Stones.
Spend the Night Together.
Oh, wow.
And my mother's final breakdown, you know. Here comes my 90th nervous breakdown, right? They were bizarre tunes. When you look back at nobody writes really bizarre tunes like that. They were off the wall. The audience had no idea what they were saying because they were screaming too loud, you know. You never heard anything you did, right? But then later on, getting to know them pretty well, like they asked me to do the 1969 tour, right? All over the States, 40 cities or something, you know. That was banana, that was crazy.
Was that your first time coming
I
to...
know I'd come over with Eric Clapton and the Cream a year before, 1968. That was their farewell tour. Right?
I'm just going to see how many different names of bands that you all love we can get you to...
Well, I know it sounds like it. It's funny, but it's very flattering to be still friends with a lot of these people that we mentioned, and that's what we do. You know, I treasure it. To be honest with you.
Now,
it's really.
You were coming up during the time of kind of that first era of guitar heroes, and you were one of them yourself.
Oh yeah.
But like, do you remember? Like, tell me about the first time you heard Hendrix.
Yeah. Okay. You nailed it right there. Okay. Can you swear a little on this or not?
It's Gibson. It's rock and roll.
Well, one thing that pissed everybody off in England, guitar-wise, right, was I'd met Jimmy before, right, in New York. And anyway, so Chas Chandler brought him to England, and he said, "I don't want you to play. Don't play guitar." Now, which is impossible to tell Jimmy. So I got to know him. He'll play at the drop of a hat, right? He said, "But just keep it cool, and I'll let you know when." So there's a club in London. This is a story that it's become history, right? That I've heard it from other people. But a friend of mine, Peter J, and me would hang out at this club called the Scotch of St. James or the Bag of Nails, right? And we go in one, usually it's a place we go so nobody would bother you. Well, this night, we go in and Paul McCartney walks in and John Lennon walks in and Pete Townsend walks in and Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck walks in and Brian Jones walks in. He comes over. I'm going, what the hell is going on? Then I see Chaz and I went, uh-oh. Right? And this is the first night that they got him to get up and play. He gets up, borrows the amps, plugs them together. Eric Barrett got that together, right? You plugged them all together. 2 stacks of Marshalls in a club. It's pretty cruel, right? Anyway, and he said, "I'd love to do this little song that I know is close to your heart." He says, "Everybody, it's my favorite group. It's this little thing called Wild Thing." And everybody went, "Wow, what? Wild Thing?" It's a group that you love to hate, the Trogs at the time, you know, when they do. So he roars into that, and I'll tell you, it was the end of the guitar myth of England. I mean, all the guitar players. Brian Jones came running back to our table, and he's going, "Oh, Terry." I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "It's a flood in the front. There's water everywhere." I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Oh, the guitar player's crying. It's terrible."
So you were there. You just remember everybody's reaction.
Yeah.
You remember. What did you think when this?
Well, I'd seen him play with Russ and Roland Kirk as well. Now flip the coin there, because Jimmy was he wasn't a blues musician. That's easy to say. A jazz entrepreneur is more what he was. You listen to the lines. He never repeats a line. It's one flowing piece of bliss. You know, that's the way he played. You know, it's all just from here to there. It's amazing. Never heard anything like it. And he went to get up at Ronnie Scott's club in London.
Yeah.
And he got up to play with Rassam Rolenkirk, you know, playing all the saxophones and flutes with his nose and the whole deal. And first of all, Jimmy came over to our table. And for those who don't know, Rassam Rolenkirk is blind, right? And not only that, he's very ornery kind of guy, you know. So anyway, he's sort of suddenly Jimmy comes over with his case and sits at our table, and he's saying, and he says, he's asked me to play. I said, you're going to play with Rolenkirk? And he says, yeah. He says, yeah, I don't know what to do. I said, well, all of a sudden, Rolenkirk says, where's that blues boy I keep hearing about? Jimi Hendrix, get up here and let's play, right? And then Jimmy says, how does he know I'm here? I said, I think he's got people out there that find out, you know. Right? And he was shaking, right? He got up, you never heard anything like it. There must be a tape of it somewhere. Somebody must have been rolling something. But his whole plan was to make this album, but God bless before he passed, with Miles Davis. They were working on this album.
I had heard that they were working on something.
He gets out now. I don't know if they ever cut anything, but I was in New York with him, and Miles came around, and they were in the other room and playing, and I'm going, wow, yeah, blues, you know. It's not just the blues. They're gone, and this is after Bitches Brew, so you know where we're going now.
Yeah.
It was very contemporary. I mean, I miss him a lot. You know,